This app costs $10. This one is free. They are, functionally, the same app. The person selling the one on the left didn't write the engine that communicates with the Apple Notes database. I did. And before they shipped it, they stripped out every trace of my name. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you the exact moment that I knew, beyond any doubt, what they had done. And then I'm going to show you what happened when I told them that I knew. My name is Konstantin Zaremski. I'm a software developer here in Colorado, and in 2023 I built a small free tool called Apple Notes Exporter. If you've ever used Apple Notes for a long time and wanted to leave and get your data out, you will know that Apple does not make that easy for you. So, I made it easy. The app is free, it is open source, and in October of last year I shipped version 1.0, which was a complete rewrite in Swift that talks directly to the Apple Notes database using SQLite. I licensed it under the MIT license, which is one of the most permissive licenses. MIT essentially says, do whatever you want with this code. Use it, modify it, even sell it. However, there's exactly one rule. Keep my name on it. In early 2026, someone who had used my app messaged me out of the blue. They had found another app. Same purpose, same general look, similar export format offerings, being sold on a website called 1.ai. This person had wanted to know if I was affiliated or if I had launched a paid version. I had not. It was called Notes Exporter Pro. $9.99, lifetime license, paid through PayPal. License key activation system, the whole bit. Marketed across at least 6 subreddits as their own original work. I downloaded it. I didn't open it. I made a copy of the disk image, recorded its hash, put it somewhere safe, and then got to work. On macOS, every compiled application is just a folder with a special extension. You can right-click and then look inside. Inside that folder, there's a binary, the actual machine code that runs when you double-click the icon. When you compile a program, a lot of human-readable text gets baked into that binary. Error messages, log lines, class names, SQL queries. That stuff doesn't get optimized away. It just sits there. And there's a built-in command on every Mac called strings that lets you pull all of it out. 12,000 lines of strings. It's time to start searching. Apple Notes Database Parser in Pascal case is the name of a class that I wrote. It's not a generic name. Nobody else's code has a class called that. And there it was, sitting in their binary as a Swift-type metadata symbol. Table Parser 2, another class I wrote, which parses the inline tables inside of the Apple Notes. And then I searched for any mention of me. My name, my GitHub profile, nothing. Not one match in 12,000 strings. Apple requires every application distributed on macOS to be cryptographically signed by a registered developer. There's a command called codesign on every Mac that lets you read who signed a given app. Just like that, I had a real human name and an Apple developer team ID tied to the binary. The certificate was valid. Apple had notarized the app. Whoever this was, they had not been hiding. Class names alone don't really prove anything. 2 developers could happen to pick very similar class names. So I went looking for something much more specific. Debug messages. When you're writing software, you sprinkle log statements throughout the code to help you trace the execution flow and then identify bugs in the software. They're written for the developer, not the user. The user never sees them, which means there's no reason to ever change them when you're forking somebody else's code. They get carried over verbatim. 7 exact matches, word for word. From error paths I had specifically debugged in my own code over the course of months. There's no universe in which 2 developers, working independently, write the exact same 7 error messages. But I wanted more. Otool is the Mach-O inspection tool that ships with the Developer Command Line Tools in macOS. Among other things, it can dump the metadata for every class compiled into a binary, the names of the classes, the names of their internal variables, even the order those variables were declared in. My Apple Notes Database Parser class has 3 internal variables. They are called DB, dbpath, and version. They are declared in that order. Their Apple Notes Database Parser class has 3 internal variables as well. They are called DB, dbpath, and version. Same exact names, same exact order, same exact data types. Ghidra is a reverse engineering framework developed by the National Security Agency. It is free. It can take a compiled binary and then work backwards into something that resembles the original source code. It is the closest thing in existence to seeing somebody's source code without seeing their source code. I run a small plugin to decompile every function in their binary and then filter around known strings like pieces of SQL queries. 15 functions came back. I want to walk you through one of them because this is the part where any remaining doubt evaporates. On the left is their function, decompiled from their compiled binary. On the right is mine, in the original Swift source. This is my function for fetching attachment data from the notes database. It does 12 things, in a very specific order. Prepare a SQL query. Bind the attachment identifier. Step through the results. Read columns 3, 4, and 5. Check whether the media field is null. If it's null, log this exact message. Check the type. If it's a paper attachment, fall back to the image function. If it's a PDF, fall back to the PDF function. Otherwise, try by file name and then log this exact message. If we found it, log this. If we didn't find it, log that. If the query failed to prepare, log the failure with this exact message as well. 12 steps. Same order, same branches, same log messages at every decision point. Side by side, on the screen in front of you. There was one more thing I noticed. My current code uses a 3-table SQL join to look up an attachment's account. Their version of the same function uses a 2-table join with a hard-coded column name. That's the way my code looked at version 1.0 build 3. I changed it months ago in a specific commit because the old version had a bug. It returned null on newer versions of macOS. This confirms that they forked my code more or less around the version 1.0 build 3 release. At this point, the question wasn't whether they had taken my code. The question was, what was I going to do about it? I sent a formal compliance notice, not a lawsuit, not a takedown, a polite, specific email laying out exactly what I found, what the MIT license required, and what they needed to add. I gave them 30 days. I also flagged something else. Their app bundled a framework called Sparkle, which is what most apps use to manage automatic updates. Sparkle is open source too, and its license requires attribution to 7 different copyright holders, plus a few external contributors. None of them were credited either. I'm not affiliated with the Sparkle project. I just figured if they were going to be fixing the licensing for my code, they would fix it for all of the others at the same time. The reply came back the same day. Our exporter was built from the ground up. We didn't copy your source code in any way or form. You are purely mistaken in your blog post, and we demand removal of the same. They said I was mistaken. They said they had built the app from the ground up. They said I should take down the blog post. I wrote back, same evening. I named the specific commit hash where I had fixed the bug that their binary had still carried. I pointed out again that the analysis was reproducible. Anyone with a Mac and an afternoon can verify this from scratch. Initially, nothing. 3 days later, a different reply. 2 sentences. Yes, we will add license details, proper attribution and credits. About a month later, they shipped a new version. Version 1.7 beta, build 3. I downloaded it and ran the same command that I had run at the very beginning. Same command, 2 different outcomes. The MIT license attribution is in the app bundle. My name and copyright header appear in the in-app acknowledgements. The matter, as far as I'm concerned, is resolved. I went back and updated the blog post. I went back and updated my comments on Reddit. That was that. I want to leave you with 2 things. The first is for anyone who publishes open source code. The license you choose matters more than you think at the moment you choose it. MIT is permissive. Anybody can take your code, repackage it, and even sell it. The only protection that MIT gives you is your name on the result. Initially, this was okay for me. I wanted Apple Notes Explorer to be as open and as widespread as possible, and as permissive as possible, and I wanted to encourage forks with new features and other things of that nature. MIT was the most hands-off I could get without making it public domain. However, if someone strips your name off, that is a violation. But the enforcement is on you. You have to notice, you have to investigate, and you have to send the email. I've since moved Apple Notes Explorer to GPL version 3. GPL is what they call a copyleft license. If somebody uses my code, they have to release their derivative work under those same terms. It does not let you wrap a paywall around a closed binary. If I had been GPL from the very beginning, the situation in this video would not have happened in the form that it did. Lesson learned. The second thing is for anyone watching this video who finds themselves in the same situation. Document everything before you say a word in public. Save copies of the binaries. Record the hashes. Web archive the pages. Screenshot the marketing posts with timestamps. Then, before you fire off an angry email, write a calm one with specifics. Specifics are what move people. Vague accusations get denied. 7 exact debug messages and a commit hash do not. Apple Notes Explorer is still free. It is still open source. It is on my GitHub, link in the description. If you've got Apple Notes and want to get out of Apple Notes, go grab it. It costs $0, it has always cost $0, and it will always cost $0. And now it has a license that makes sure it stays that way. Thanks for watching until the end. Leave a like if you like this video, comment what you think, and subscribe for more. Thanks again, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.